it's hard to say because so far Erdogan has not shown any signs of backing down and going to a more orthodox policy. And if things get worse with the Turkish lira, there will be increasing non-performing loans. You're going to have a flow through to European banking system. We've already seen that, some effect on the European banks and the euro because of that. And also, it's the most exposed countries with respect to Turkish lira is actually Italy is one of the largest trading partners, and they also have a significant ownership of a Turkish bank, and Spain as well. So, I do think there could be a knock-on effect, and there could be also contagion to other countries in EM. And the Trump administration being so quick to increase sanctions on Turkey, you've seen them do the same thing for Russia. You have to assume that that's also kind of a warning shot to the Chinese that they're not scared to just pile on the pressure even as financial contagion picks up. Since the 1990s, and when 94, when Mexico was under pressure, the Clinton administration, remember, set up a bailout for the Mexicans and then tried to stabilize every time there was a EM crisis.
Well, you weren't enthralled with the recent snapback in EM anyway. It was already you look at that as a bear market rally. So
I think so.
You would
I think
be
that's
selling
right.
strength in emerging markets?
Yeah, I think, you're coming up to the next Fed meeting. They're going to raise rates. The market's been unwilling to price in more rate hikes until you get closer to the rate hike that you're coming up to. So there'll be more rate hikes starting to get priced in the next month, and that'll just put more pressure probably on EM currencies. And you're getting a huge divergence in relative risk assets. You're seeing EM massively underperform, say, U.S. equities for now, because U.S. growth remains strong. Growth elsewhere in the world has generally been tepid or weakening. And I don't know what's going to change that dynamic in the short term.
Andres, or have you pulled your horns in at all on liking things outside the U.S. more than the U.S., or where are you?
No, I think in the short term, I would agree that there is chance, especially within emerging markets, chances of contagions through the channel of currencies, right? So we've seen, for instance, the South African rand and the Brazilian real trade off on sympathy. So I definitely will attest to that this could get worse in the short term, especially because Turkey, a political situation is not improving. Having said that, from a valuation standpoint, so if you're looking out 3-5 years out, even if you look at, for instance, a CAPE, right, a cyclically adjusted PE ratio, U.S. is above 30, EM is at 13. That's basically only 20% of the time has it been below that, versus for the U.S., only 5% of the time has been above it. So what does that tell me, right? Which odds are, is it guaranteed EM is going to outperform U.S.? No. Are the odds starting to stack up towards EM actually outperforming over the next 5 years?
Don't look at her. She's really bearish. She's
bearish. She's been bearish for a decade, though.
That's right. Really bad when Bitcoin hit 20,000.
You sound smarter when you're bearish. There are permanent.
I think that's true.
Oh, that's definitely true.
Yes. Bears sound smart and bulls make money.
There's some guys that make a living being bearish, but all they really do is write now. They don't really.
That's why bond guys usually sound very smart. They're usually
right.
Exactly. You never get fired, at least from your writing job. You never get fired. So. This is worrisome, though, and I don't know. Turkey's not even, theoretically, it's not a size that could cause a systemic problem.
Well, it's actually a big economy, and it has a lot of trade links with Europe, which they'll be the ones that feel the brunt of it. So if you look at, CEMEA currencies, Eastern European currencies, they've been hit by both the sanctions on Turkey and the sanctions on Russia that the Trump administration is going to put on.
What if Turkey is the tip of the iceberg of what the world is going to look like as interest rates, as central banks start to tighten, right? What if this is just a warning sign of, get ready, world, here's what's coming?
Right. Well, one thing that I would add on that front is, don't forget that EM went through basically 2 huge hiccups already. 2013, and by the end of 2015, oil was at $30. People were talking about China's currency basically breaking. And EM, basically, people said, stay away, don't touch it. And then we actually eventually saw some of it actually come back. So I don't necessarily think that we haven't seen any damage already done in EM over the last couple of years. That's important to mention.